Hello everyone. The topic of today's lesson is the word kai. You probably know what kai means already. However, it can be especially frustrating to see a word you're familiar with in a context where for some reason you still have no idea what it means. So, let's clarify the most common meanings of the word kai. The first meaning is what. If you see the word kai in a question, chances are it means what. It can, however, also mean any. And it can also be used to make a sentence longer, less specific, less direct, more general, and hence friendlier. Let's focus on these three in more detail. First off, some examples with kai meaning what. For example, kai delaš means what are you doing or what do you do, depending on the context. Kaj je to means what's this. Kaj je za zajtrk means what's for breakfast. And just as a reminder, you shouldn't always expect one-to-one matches between languages. Koliko je ura is what's the time. What's the time doesn't include the word kaj. In Slovene, we say how much is the time and not what is the time. So that covers kaj as what. Now on to the meaning you're probably less familiar with. The second meaning of kaj we're interested in is any. A imaš čas means do you have time. Notice the word time or čas here is in the fourth case or the accusative. That's because it's an object, and those take the accusative in Slovene. The subject of the sentence is implied, since imaš can only mean you have. So the subject, you, is implied in the verb, and not stated explicitly. However, in a imaš kaj časa, which translates as do you have any time, there's an additional a ending in čas, and you can see from the English sentence that the word time is then used in the second case or the genitive. Now the genitive is used, among other things, similar to the English of phrase. I know there's no of in the phrase any time, but think of the English a lot of, as in a lot of time. That's the genitive in Slovene. But asking a question with any also requires the genitive in Slovene, and that's why we have čas a instead of čas. Replacing time with money, we get a imaš denar, which means do you have money or do you have the money, depending on the context. Just like in the first sentence, denar is an object and takes the accusative. Simple enough. However, when saying any money, we have to use the genitive, just like we did with our time example. Again, think of it as any of money if that helps you remember to use the genitive here. Oh, and ignore the additional j. That's just because denar ends in a r. The regular genitive ending for masculine singular nouns is a. The third meaning of the word kaj isn't that common in Slovene in general, but when it comes to spoken Slovene, it's something we use pretty often. Kako si means how are you. Kako si kaj is a way of using the word kaj to make the sentence longer. Making a sentence longer can serve to make it less direct and so perhaps a bit lighter or friendlier. It's difficult to translate kako si kaj, and I don't know if my translation is any good. If you're a native speaker of English, just think of anything that conveys the meaning how are you, but in a more general, less direct manner. In Ljubljana, we pronounce kaj used like this here as kaj. Kako si kaj. Next time, when talking to a Slovene friend, ask how they're doing by saying kako si kaj or kako si kaj. If I call someone up on the phone and say kaj delaš, I'm literally interested in what they're doing. It's a straightforward question expecting a straightforward answer. If I add an additional kaj, pronounced kaj in Ljubljana, kaj delaš, I'm still asking what they're doing, but less directly. Kaj delaš refers more to now, and kaj delaš is more general, perhaps covering several hours. It's sort of saying in general, what have you been up to today, or something similar. This is a good example of why I've decided to cover kaj in today's lesson. If I were learning Slovene and I knew the word kaj and understood what kaj delaš means, I'd be pretty annoyed to come across something like kaj delaš, since it looks ridiculous. On that note, now we're going to have a look at 10 examples where the meaning of kaj is tied to the whole phrase it's a part of. In these examples, the meaning of kaj isn't transparent, and I can imagine they can be annoying, so let's clear a couple of them up. First we have pa kaj. Pa kaj means so what, who cares, or what does it matter. Nisem naredil izpita. Pa kaj? I didn't pass the exam. So what? Zamudil sem 10 minut. Pa kaj? I was 10 minutes late. So what? Next up is ni zakaj. Ni zakaj is another way of saying prosim or you're welcome. When someone thanks you by saying hvala, you can say prosim or ni zakaj. Hvala za pomoč. Ni zakaj. Thanks for the help. You're welcome. Hvala še enkrat. Ni zakaj. Thank you once again. Don't mention it. Nimaš kaj means there's nothing you can do or what can you do. For example, ukradli so mi avto. Nimaš kaj. My car got stolen. What can you do? Izgubil sem ključe. Nimaš kaj. Se zgodi. I lost my keys. What can you do? It happens. Kaj šele means let alone. Bo ena torta dovolj? Ena je preveč. Kaj šele dve? Will one cake be enough? One is too much. Let alone two. Boš tekel maraton? 10 kilometrov je preveč. Kaj šele maraton? Will you run the marathon? 10 kilometers is too much. Let alone a marathon. Kaj pa je? Depends on the context. It means what's the matter or what is it. Kaj pa je? Zob me boli. What's the matter? My tooth hurts. Kaj pa je? Spomnil sem se nekaj. What is it? I remembered something. You say pa kaj še when you want to express disbelief or disagreement with someone. It literally means and what more, as in what more BS will you try to convince me of? Do januarja bom naredil 5 izpitov. Pa kaj še? I'm going to pass 4 exams by January. Yeah, right. En mesec ne bom pil. Pa kaj še? I'm not going to drink for a month. Yeah, right. Kaj pa is the English what about. It's used when you're asking for information or making a suggestion. Danes ne morem. Kaj pa jutri? I can't today. What about tomorrow? Ta teden nimam časa. Kaj pa naslednji teden? I don't have time this week. What about next week? Kaj pa veš means you never know. Veš means you know. Nikoli ne bo nehal kaditi. Kaj pa veš? Mogoče pa neha. He'll never quit smoking. You never know. He might quit. Daj no, ne bo se preselila na Kitajsko. Kaj pa veš? Come on, she won't move to China. You never know. We just had kaj pa veš with veš meaning you know. Now we have kaj pa vem with vem being I know. The difference between kaj pa vem and kaj pa veš is that in the first case we're basically saying one can never know for sure, and here we're saying I'm not sure. Kaj pa vem means I'm not so sure or I wouldn't be so sure. On sigurno ni kriv. Kaj pa vem? He isn't guilty for sure. I wouldn't be so sure. Ta slika je čudovita. Kaj pa vem? This picture is beautiful. I don't know. Kaj jaz vem expresses I don't know, often emphatically or a bit irritated. Kdo bo zmagal na volitvah? Kaj jaz vem? Who will win the election? I have no idea. Kdaj bomo živeli na Marsu? Kaj jaz vem? When will we live on Mars? Oh, I don't know. Well, hopefully that cleared up other uses of the word kaj, which is one of the first Slovene words you'll learn. As always, good luck, study hard, and aim for the stars.